Okay, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you?
Good afternoon, sir.
No, hear you.
Yeah. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay, so we stopped at critical thickness of insulation, and I think I asked you to continue to find the critical radius of insulation for spherical wall also. Have you done that? So this is for cylindrical wall. Okay, we started with a single layer of insulation, and the inner surface at radius Ri, and so the thickness of the insulation actually is R0 minus Ri. So there is a conduction resistance through the insulation, and the outside the insulation we have convection resistance. Okay, so total resistance to the heat flow is conduction and convection resistance. But what we find here is the conduction resistance increases with the thickness. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Any questions?
Second.
Can you repeat me? Excuse me. What was the question? Question was there, or please tell me if there is any disturbance or anything.
No, sir, no question.
Okay. Yes. So conduction resistance and convection resistance. Conduction resistance increases with the thickness of the insulation. Okay, if you're joining, before joining, you make sure that your mic is muted. Okay. So conduction resistance increases, whereas convection resistance decreases because of the at which rate they increase or decrease. That depends. Okay, on that. Based on that, we can have a critical thickness which allows more heat transfer with the insulation than without insulation. So, and again, I've shown you that the conduction resistance, that is Ln Ln R0 Ri. So this term will increase, okay, from Ri to, if you increase the radius, outer radius, it will increase, okay, from 0 to as the R0 increases. Whereas the convection resistance, which is maximum at the smaller radius, and it decreases because we have a function 1 by R0 there. Then the total resistance is the sum of these two. Okay, we can combine these two graphs and we can draw that, okay, total resistance, and from that we can find the location of minimum value of resistance, and at that point we have the maximum heat transfer. Or if you take this thickness of insulation, okay, then we should get the maximum heat transfer. Q is maximum at R0 equal to R critical. So if you plot that temperature versus, heat transfer rate versus the R0, okay, or outer radius as plot, then definitely you will see that okay. So what is that? Shows you that Q increases with the R0, okay, and it reaches maximum at the point of critical radius. Then again it will decrease, okay, and that is because the conduction resistance is significantly more at larger radius, okay. So you can see this here. So the conduction resistance goes very high, and because of that, we have resistance increasing, total resistance increasing. Okay, this we can we found
So
that.
your
Right?
voice is not very clear, it's muffled.
Yeah, I think my computer mic is not working, so I am using headphone. One moment. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's better now.
Yes. Okay, so that means we have found that minimum resistance or minimum resistance point by differentiating this function, okay, which is ln R0 by Ri plus K by HA into 1 by R0 with respect to R0 and equating it to 0. We solved it and we found that R0 or the critical radius, it will be nothing but K divided by HA. So this is for cylindrical case. Same thing can be done for the spherical case. Okay. So spherical case, so again, we have to consider the same way spherical wall of thickness R0 minus Ri, okay. And you can write the rate of heat transfer through this thick spherical wall, okay. You have, we have the temperature here inside the wall, which is T1, and outside wall temperature is T2. And this spherical wall is in the atmosphere of, in the environment, okay. The atmospheric temperature is TA, and the heat transfer coefficient is HA. Now Q can be written as here. Again, you have the highest temperature inside, say T1 minus TA divided by two resistances we have. Okay, one is the conduction resistance for the spherical wall and the convection resistance outside the spherical wall. So that is RK, conduction resistance, plus the convection resistance HA. Okay, I'll take write HA just because here it is HA here. Okay, so now you can write the RK value for the spherical case. RK is nothing but, can you tell me? Who will tell me?
4 pi
Spherical,
R1.
yeah. Rajat, okay. R outer minus R
R
inner
outer minus R inner by 4
Yeah,
pi
divided by
R1
4
R2.
pi K R inner R out. Okay, this is the conduction resistance. And convection resistance RHA is nothing but 1 by HA into outside area. Okay, outside surface area. What is outside surface area? For the spherical case, A0 is nothing but 4 pi R outer square. Okay, so you can substitute here and you can write this is 4 pi HA R outer square. Now we have to see that the Q is maximum when RK plus RHA is minimum. Okay, or you can write Q T1 minus TA divided by you can separately write only resistance. Okay, R0 minus Ri divided by 4 pi K Ri R0 plus 1 by 4 pi HA R0 HA R0 sorry R0 square. Now what I will do is I will take 4 pi K to the numerator and I will write the same way which I did for the cylindrical wall. Okay, T1 minus T area, T air divided by R0 minus R in, R outer minus R inner divided by Ri R O. Then since I have taken K to the numerator, so I have K divided by HA into 1 by R outer square. Okay, so again we got another function. Okay, so we can write Q as 4 pi K into T1 minus TA divided by some function of R0. So Q is maximum when f of R0 is minimum. Same technique, okay? Minimum. So how you find the minimum of this function f of R0? Differentiate with respect to R0.
Differentiate.
Yeah. So we have f of R0 is given by R0 minus R outer. Okay, I usually mispronounce that. F of R outer minus R inner divided by Ri R O plus K by H A 1 by R outer squared and take the derivative with respect to R0. Again, I will expand the first term so that it will be easy for us to differentiate. So I can write this as 1 by Ri minus 1 by Ro plus K by HA into 1 by Ro square. Okay, so now if you differentiate this function with respect to R0, Ro, the first term will be 0 minus, okay, tell me 1 by R0 differentiation is minus 1 by
R0 square.
R0 square.
R0 square.
Ro square, okay. Then K by HA, and now what about that?
Minus 2 by R0 cube.
Minus 2 by Ro cube. Right? So simplify this one, and this should be 0. Okay, derivative we are equating it to 0 and solve that.
2K by HA.
Yeah, 2K by HA. So you'll get simply R0 or sorry, R outer equal to 2K divided by H. So that difference here is only the factor 2. For cylindrical, it is K by HA. For spherical, it is 2K by HA. This is nothing but RC critical radius. So if you want the thickness, then you have to subtract the inner radius from this one and write the thickness. Okay. Yes. So I will stop here. The theory part. We'll go to the numerical problems, and there is some more remaining, which is temperature dependent thermal conductivity and contact contact resistance. Okay. So we'll see that later. So you should be ready with your calculators now. Okay. You tell me the answers quickly. We can proceed. I mean, we can complete this faster. As you know that we have a vast syllabus to cover. Okay, so I think you can read that first question, right, everyone? It's visible. So what it says, temperature profile across a planar wall at an instant of time is given by a quadratic polynomial there, 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. Thermal conductivity of the material is given. Thickness of the wall is given. Okay, surface area of the plane wall normal to the heat transfer is also given. So we need to determine the expression for rate of heat transfer as a function of x. Okay, and heat flow rate into the wall, heat flow rate out of the wall, and rate stored. Nachiketa, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, switch off your video, okay?
Yes,
And
sir.
mute, okay. So we have to write now thermal conductivity of the material, K is given, which is 25 watt per meter degree centigrade. Thickness of the wall is given, L, 0.5 meter. Also area, A is 0.5 meter square. So we can fix the coordinate system, X coordinate system on the left side of the wall here. So I can fix my coordinate system to the X, okay. So that means what is the value of X here? X is 0, I'll take here, and here X is equal to 0.5, thickness of the wall. Okay. So definitely it's given here, Q in is on this left side, and also the temperature profile shows higher value here and the lower value here. So we know the direction of heat flow. Okay. So this is the direction of heat flow. Okay. So heat flows opposite of temperature gradient. Okay. Now tell me what we can do. We have the temperature profile here, Tx. So to obtain the heat transfer, we use the Fourier law using
you write Q equal to minus Ka dt by dx. So T of x is given as 2x squared plus, sorry, minus 5x plus 2. So we need dt by dx. So take the derivative, dt by dx equal to, so what is the derivative of this function? Come on, 2x square, if you differentiate with respect
4x
to
minus
x,
5.
yeah, 4x minus 5. Okay, 4x minus 5. Now you can substitute into this formula and write the expression as a function of x, heat transfer as a function of x. So Q as a function of x can be written as minus K is given 25, area is 0.5 into dt by dx equal to 4x minus, simplify. Yes,
There is some noise in your mic. It's a constant ticking sound.
still there.
It's
Is okay
gone.
now?
No, it happens
Okay.
when you speak, I think.
Okay. Yeah, usually I use my computer mic, but today it's not working. So you have to bear with me. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is 12.5 and we have a minus sign there. So you can take it inside and can write this is 12.5 into 5 minus 4x. You can simplify further. That is 62.5 minus 50x. So easily we got the rate of heat transfer, okay, as a function of x. Now what is the next part of the question? Heat flow rate into the wall. That is, we have to
X equal
find
to
out.
0.
Yeah, we have to just substitute x equal to 0. You will get the heat flow rate into the wall, and x equal to 0.5. You get the heat flow out of the wall. And what is this rate of heat stored?
Difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. So heat flow rate into the wall, Q in is nothing but, so just substitute x equal to 0 and then you will get simply 62.5 watts. Heat flow out Q at x equal to 5, oh sorry, 0.5. Okay, so we have 62.5 minus 50 into 0.5, that is 25. So that should give you 37.5 watts. And the net heat stored, the difference between these two is heat stored rate of heat storage. Okay, rate of heat storage is Q in minus Q out. That is 25 watts. It's a simple problem. Okay, only thing is the profile. You should use the profile to obtain the heat transfer rate at any location. You can find the, for example, if the question is find the heat transfer rate at the center or the middle of the pole. So you can do that, right? So what is the rate of heat transfer at the middle of the wall?
0.25.
Yeah, X you
Exit to
substitute.
0.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 62.4. Right. This is Q at X equal to 0.25. Right. You have 62.5 minus 50 into 0.25. And that is 50 watts. Okay. So similar questions can be asked with a different profile. Okay. You should be able to differentiate. So only we can check through this different profiles is how good your skills of or mathematical skills. So then rest of the physics is very simple in this case. So you can do that. Okay, we'll move on to the next problem. The composite wall. Thermal conductivity of materials of composite wall are given. There are 5 wall portions here. So this is wall number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 different materials. So K1 is 360, K2 is 202, K3 is 105, K4 is 56, and K5 is 5. So, okay. What else is given? The thickness is given with the figure. It's not in the description of problem, but it is given here. I think slightly in the figure the expressions are very small. Notations, I will write it again here. This is x1, this is x2, and this is x3. Whereas y1 is here. This is y1, y2, and y3. Okay, y3. Okay, so thickness of the wall, first wall and the last wall is same. X1 equal to x3 equal to 0.5 meter, and remaining 3 walls in the middle, they are 2, 3, 4. Their thickness is same, x2. Okay, all 3 have same thickness of 1 meter. The yx length of the wall is same for these 3 walls, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that is 2 meter, and entire area here is 6 meter square. Okay, so this is a composite wall, and you know that we can draw the electrical circuit for the wall, and we can solve this problem very easily. Okay, on the left hand side, the wall temperature is given here. This is the point A. Temperature is 560 degrees centigrade, and this point is H on the wall. The temperature is 50 degrees centigrade. Okay, so we know these temperatures at the ends. Here we have 560 degrees centigrade, and here 50 degree centigrade. And in between, we have the conduction resistances. This is RK1, RK2, RK3, RK4, and RK5. And as I told you, okay, we should know how to write this circuit. Whereas R1 and R5 are series with this combined resistance of R2, R3, and R4. Okay. Yeah, so first we will make a table so that it will be easy for us to write the resistances and all. So wall number, then you write the thickness, or you can write the thermal conductivity first. Okay, thermal conductivity, and then you write thickness, area. Okay, so wall number 1, what is the thermal conductivity? 360. So first, okay, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4, 5. So thermal conductivity of the first wall is 360, 202, 105, and 56. 360, 202, 105, 56, and 5. Right? Okay. 360, 202, 105, 56, and 5. Okay. Now thickness. Thickness for the first wall is 0.5 meter. These three, 1 meter each. And the last one is also 0.5 meter. Area. Okay. Now tell me area of the first wall. Same as the given here. Because first wall is entire area, it is 6 meter square. Yeah, who will tell me the area of second, third, and fourth wall? How do you calculate? Look at the figure and you can tell me the area of the second wall, third wall, and fourth wall.
2.
So
Two.
every
2 meters square.
every wall has 2 meter square area because entire area is 6 meter square, and we know the Z length of each wall is same. Z length of each wall is same. Okay, 1 to 5 all have same Z length. So then area is depends only in the Y length of the wall. Okay, depends on only Y length of the wall. So if wall 2, 3, 4 they have same Y length of 2 meters, then we can also calculate Z value based on the okay, because area 1 and area 5 have the Y length of total y1 plus y2 plus y3, that is 6 meters. So that means Z should be 1 meter. Z should be 1 meter. So if Z is 1 meter, then you can calculate because y1 is 2, Z is 1. So for the second wall, it is y1 into Z, that is 2 meter square. So similarly for 3 and 4. So 2 meter squared, 2 meter squared, 2 meter squared, and the last one is complete wall, that is area in meter squared, thickness in meter. Okay, and this is in watt per meter degree centigrade. Okay, this table, if you make it, it will be easier for you. You don't have to search again in the question. Now write the resistances. RK1, RK2, RK3, RK4, and RK5. Okay, so resistances of the wall, RK1. How do you write? These are planar wall. So thickness of the wall, okay, divided by 0.5 divided by K into area. K is 360, area is 6. Similarly, RK2, 1 by 2 into, 202 into area 2. Okay, RK3, 1 divided by 105 into 2. RK4, 1 divided by 56 into 2. And RK5, 0.5 thickness divided by 6 into 5. Oh, sorry, 5 into 6 area. Okay, so this is, if you know all these resistances, now what you have to do is you have to simplify the circuit. First, you resolve that parallel arrangement, find the equivalent resistance for the parallel arrangement. So this entire thing, RK2, RK3, and RK4, okay, should be found, equivalent of that should be found. Then what you do, you put that equivalent in the series of this RK1 and RK5, find the total resistance of the wall. If you know the total resistance, then your problem is over, because you have to just use, because the temperature difference is given, temperature difference divided by total resistance will give you the rate of heat transfer. Come on, tell me what is R equivalent. So 1 by R equivalent equal to, tell me, 1 by RK2 plus 1 by RK3 plus 1 by RK4. Okay. So what do you get? Substitute those values, RK2, RK3, and RK4. Can you tell me these values here? You have calculator, quickly calculate and tell me the values. Come on. RK1 is, yeah, Kshitij, right? Kshitij, sorry. Kshitij. Kshitij. Calculate and tell me the values. Come on. So if you are not involving, or if you're not telling me answers, I'll skip these things. I'll just tell you the method. I'll tell the method and I'll move forward. Okay.
R equivalent is 1.377 into 10 to the power minus 3.
2 point. No, RK1. 2 point.
2.315 into 10 to the power
Okay.
minus 4.
Yes. 315 into 10 power minus 4. So what about Kshitij? You're not there in the class. So let's mark your absent. Okay, next RK2, Yashwant. Yashwant Reddy. You're also absent.
Sir.
Yeah, then calculate and tell me the answer. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So those people, students there who are just joining the class and doing something else, please. Okay. I will ask these questions like this. And I will mark you absent.
0.014.
Yeah, tell me.
0.014.
0 point.
014.
Which one you are telling?
RK2.
0.012. No, I think. Check it.
2.47.
What are you doing?
5.
1 by 202 into 2. How much?
1 by 404, that is equal to.
Come on.
Wait, sir, 1 minute. I can calculate. .00247.
2.475.
As a 524752.
Okay. Yeah. RK3. Dantesh.
Sir, that's my 10 to the power minus 3, not minus 4.
10 power minus 3. minus 3. Good.
So RK3 sir, 4.7619
Okay, 4.76. Good.
into 10 to the power
4.76
minus
minus
10
3
to the
or
power
4?
minus 3. Minus 3.
Minus 3. Okay. Yeah. Other Somalia.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
8.92 into 10 to the power minus 3.
8.93. Good. And RK5?
0.016.
0.01. Are you sure?
Yes, sir. 0.016.
16. Okay. 166.
Yes, sir.
663 or 63, right? One.
The TH is not given.
Which one? TH is given in the figure. It is
50.
there. 50. Yeah, it's given. So now you have to calculate first R equivalent. Okay. Okay. Srinivasa, completed.
So,
Yeah. R equivalent. Substitute
sir,
this
of the
RK2, RK3.
whole composite one.
No. Equivalent of these 3 parallel arrangements. Okay. RK2, RK3, and RK4.
1.3774 into 10 to the power minus 3.
Okay. 1.377. 377 into 10 power minus 3. Okay. Unit is here. Degree centigrade divided by watts. Degree centigrade divided by watts. Now put that equivalent with the series or with the RK1, then R equivalent, and then RK5. RK5. Okay. So this is now just adding these 3 because they are in series. TH here and this is TA. So add these 3. RK1 is 2.315 into 10 power minus 4. So our total equal to RK1 plus R equivalent plus RK5. Substitute that value 2.315. 0.315 into 10 power minus 4. Then equivalent is 1.377 into 10 power minus 3. Okay, tell me, is it correct? RK5 is correct or?
It's correct,
Yes,
sir.
that's
0.016.
0.0163, right? 0.016. Okay. Yeah. So total resistance you will get. Then rate of heat transfer. Through the composite wall. Yeah. Dantesh, you can mute. Okay. Yes. So that is Q equal to temperature difference TA minus TH divided by R total. What is the total resistance of the wall?
0.0204.
0.0204. No, I think there is some mistake.
182.
This is not okay. This is 16.3 something. So 18 point something should come.
It's a
So
0.018.
18.2788 into 10 to the power
Okay.
minus 3.
minus 3. Good. So degree centigrade over watts. So temperature difference is 560, right? On the left hand side, it's 560 degree. Yeah, and on the right side, it is 50 divided by 18.27 into 10 power minus 3, and this will give you how many kilowatts?
27.87.
27.87 kilowatts. Okay, then next part is to find the interface temperatures. First, determine the rate of heat transfer and the interface temperatures. Okay, you have to make clearly underline what I asked in the question. Sometimes you overlook it, then you will miss. Okay, so interface temperature means which temperature we have to find. There are two interfaces. Okay, one is this one, and then this one. So we have to find out these two temperatures here. Let me say this temperature at this interface is T1, and temperature at this second interface is T2. Okay. Can you calculate the interface temperature?
553.54.
Yeah. So you know the resistance of first wall. Okay. You know the rate of heat transfer, and because we are solving this steady state problems, so the rate, all the heat that is passing through the first wall is same as combined heat transfer through second, third, and fourth, and that is equal to heat transfer to through the fifth wall. So I can write Q for the first wall can be written as TA minus T1 divided by RK1. So we know everything. Q, we know RK1, we know TA, so we can calculate T1. T1 equal to TA plus, sorry, TA minus. T1 goes this side, so TA minus Q into RK1. Okay. And the last, for the second interface, we have fifth wall. So then that we can use.
The last one.
Yeah, last wall we can use, and we can simply say that T2 minus TH divided by resistance of the last wall, RK5. So now we can say T2 equal to TH plus, okay, TH plus T2 equal to TH plus Q into RK5. Okay. So what is the temperature T1?
Is it 553.55?
553.
Yes, sir.
Point, yes, 0.5.
54.
And this one 500.
515.
15 degrees. Okay. Then one
So-
more part I have added to that question. That is,
So the maximum
find-
temperature drop takes place in the last wall because it
Yes.
has the highest resistance.
yes, exactly. The thermal conductivity for that wall is very small. So we have maximum temperature drop across the last wall. 515 to 50. You can see that. On the left side, temperature is 515. On the right side, it's 50 degrees centigrade.
So
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
the significance of this? Like, why did you have to keep the last wall at such a great temperature difference instead
No,
of
no,
making it
this is
graph?
there is no practical application mentioned in the problem. Okay, it's
Hmm.
simply put in the your notes so that you will learn the electrical analogy. That's all. So it's not there's no practical connection to this wall and the problem. But definitely there will be practical connections later. I'll tell you that when we have a better insulating wall, that should be always next to the hot surface in case of cylindrical and spherical coordinates, not in planar. Planar, it doesn't make any difference. Okay. So wherever you keep that better insulating wall, you still have same rate of heat transfer in case of planar wall. Okay. Yeah. So the last part is, what is the rate of heat transfer through the wall 3? Okay. So now just because you have the list of thermal conductivities with respect to each wall, can you tell me out of 27.8 kilowatts, 27.8 kilowatts of heat transfer rate that is going through this wall? So which one will take more heat? I mean, which one allows more heat transfer? 2, 3, or 4?
3. No,
3.
2.
No.
2 does. 2 does.
2.
Highest
2.
thermal
2 does,
conductivity.
right? 2 is 202 thermal conductivity. And we can clearly see that later if you calculate and find the ratio, you will see that the rate, the amount of heat transfer through the second wall is 2 times that is through the third wall. Because you can see the ratio of thermal conductivity is 202 and it's 105, so almost 2 times, right? And this through the third wall and fourth wall, again, third wall conducts 2 times the fourth one. So check it. You calculate from the heat transfer rate through the second wall. How do you do that? Already we have the interface temperature T1 and
Junction
T2.
rule. Junction rule.
Yeah, that is also we can use, and also your temperature is already given. T1, we obtained that. Okay, we have the temperatures T1 and T2. So simply we can calculate the rate of heat transfer to the second wall Q2, which is nothing but T1 minus T2 divided by RK2. Q3 is nothing but T1 minus T2 divided by RK3. Okay. Similarly, Q4 you can calculate. But if you don't know this interface temperature and it's not asked, then what you'll do?
Split the currents.
Yeah, you can find the temperature, interface temperature, and do it. Okay. Otherwise, you can write a formula. So you can also write Q3 or Q2. Okay, Q3 equal to K3 A3 into total heat transfer divided by sum of the K2 A2 plus K3 A3 plus K4 A4. Simply using this, we can calculate it. Okay, check it. So your Q2 or Q3 calculated using this. What is the value you will get? 8.553. Yeah, 8.8 kilowatts. Okay, so check it. Same thing using this formula, and you will get that. So here is total Q. Okay, right hand this is total Q, 27.8 kilowatts. Okay, this is only passing through the wall 3. So cross check and tell me. Okay, later. Okay, so we'll move on to the next problem. Now we have a cylindrical wall. Okay, a steel pipe having outside diameter of 30 millimeter. Outside diameter of 30 millimeter is covered with the 2 layers of insulation, each having thickness of 25 millimeter. Okay, average thermal conductivity of one of the material is 5 times the other. Neglect pipe resistance and assume that the inner and outer surface temperature of the composite insulation are fixed. Okay, maintain same. How much will the heat transfer be reduced when the better insulating material is next to the pipe than when the other is next to the pipe. Other is the better conducting material is next to the pipe. So we have a pipe of inner radius, or sorry, outer radius, 30 by 2 or 15 millimeter, and that is covered with the insulation of 25 millimeter. So we have another layer of insulation around the pipe. So what is this radius then? The outer radius here is 15 millimeter, and we are lagging that pipe with a 25 millimeter thickness insulation. So what will be this radius?
40, sir.
40 millimeter. Good. 40 millimeter. And if you add one more layer of another material, add one more layer of material there. So then this is 40 plus 25, 65.
65.
Yeah. So I'll write R1 is 15 millimeter, R2 is 40 millimeter, and R3 is 65 millimeter. Yeah. So the next thing is, let's name these materials as A and B. The thermal conductivity of material A, so this is Ka and this is Kb. Okay. So what it says, thermal conductivity of one of the materials is 5 times of that of the other. So let Ka equal to 5 times Kb. Okay. So the inner material is, now I have put is A, outer material is B. Okay. Inner material is. Now tell me, which is better conducting material? Sorry, which is better insulating material?
Sir, B.
B is better insulating material. Okay, whereas A is better conducting material. So you have two situations you have to consider now. One situation is where you have A inside and B is outside. Okay. Another case is B is inside and A is outside. Okay. So neglect the pipe resistance. So we don't have to consider the heat transfer through the pipe wall or the resistance to the heat transfer only. We can directly consider these two resistances. How much will be the heat transfer be reduced if the better insulating material is next to the pipe? So what this statement tells us, how much will the heat transfer be reduced? That means definitely the heat transfer rate will be decreased if I put B inside and A outside, isn't it? Because it's asked reduced. Okay. The question tells us that heat transfer rate will be reduced if the better insulating material is next to the pipe. Okay. So I will write the case 1. Case 1, material A is next to the pipe. And case B, or case 2, sorry, material B is next to the Samulya. Somalia. Who is this? Somalia. So let's say rate of heat transfer through the insulation is Q1 for the case 1 and Q2 for the case 2. Can you calculate that? Q1 and Q2? Come on. What is not given? We don't have the temperature difference, okay, or we don't have the temperature values. That is not given. Also, thermal conductivity is given as a only ratio. Ka by Kb is 5. That's all. So we can write the expression for heat transfer, and we can see which is getting cancelled when we take this ratio of Q1 and Q2. Okay, and is it possible for us to simplify? So for the first case, when material A is inside, so what is Q1? Let me say that temperature here is T1 and temperature on the outside is T2. Then you can write Q1 equal to T1 minus T2 divided by, there will be two resistances. Okay, again, if you want, can draw the circuit. There will be two resistances, and depending on the case, okay, this would be RKA, RKB for the first case. This will become RKB, and this will become RKA for the second case. Okay. Here only I will do that. So first case, we have RKA, then RKB, RKA, RK, T1, T2. Second case, the better insulating material is inside, B is inside.
Sir, it shouldn't change, right?
Which one?
The heat transfer, will it change at all?
Yes, you can check it later. Okay, just KB, it will change.
Area, no, sir.
Okay.
Area will change.
Yeah, area will change. Not only that, the temperature profile, basically, as I told you, right? The temperature profile will be different. So that is the reason we have the less heat transfer when the better insulating material is inside. So RKA plus RKB. So what is this RKA and RKB? You can substitute T1 minus T2. Okay, maybe you will be confused because this will be so. So RKA will be ln.
Your voice is lagging.
It's okay now?
It's fine, sir.
Yes, sir.
ln R2 divided by R1 divided by 2 pi L K A, thermal conductivity of material A, and then we have ln R3 divided by R2 divided by 2 pi L K B. This is Q1. Okay. So if you want, you can further simplify this one. So you can take 2 pi L to the numerator and all. Okay, I will keep as it is. The second case, case 2, Q2 will be T2, T1 minus T2, that is same temperature difference. Now the resistance of first material is B. So ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi LKB plus ln R3 by R2 2 pi LKA. Now what you do is take the ratio of Q1 and Q2. Ratio of Qn 1 and 2. So what do you get? T1 minus T2 is same, so that will disappear. So then you can also take out 2 pi L. 2 pi L is very common, is common there, right? Here also we have 2 pi L, 1 by 2 pi L. So here also we have same thing. So I will not write that. So Q1, I can write it as 1 divided by ln R2 by R1 plus ln R3 by R2, and this divided by Ka, this divided by Kb. That is Q1. What about this Q2? That is in the denominator, so I have to write inverse of that, right? So I will write this as ln R2 by R1 divided by Kb plus ln R3 by R2 Ka. So if you are confused, just tell me. Okay. This is my Q2. This is coming from Q2 and this is from Q1. Now you can take the common denominator Ka into Kb and simplify that. Okay. So you can write this as Ka Kb divided by Kb ln R2 by R1 Ka ln R3 by R2. And from here we can write this into Ka Kb. Okay. So this is be Ka ln R2 by R1 plus Kb ln R3 by R2. Okay, so this will cancel out here and we have a simple equation to solve. Now let's substitute. What is that? Ka equal to 5 times Kb. Wherever Ka is there, you substitute Kb. Okay. So you can write Q1 divided by Q2. So Ka here, so that is 5 times Kb, and 1 Kb is here also. So we can take it out and I'll write 5 times ln R2 by R1 plus ln R3 by R2 there. And here Kb is there, 1 times ln R2 by R1. Ka is 5 times ln R3 by. So everything is eliminated, only radius is remaining now in our equation. Substitute the radius values and tell me what is this ratio is equal to.
1.58.
1.58.
1.58. Okay, this will be 1.58. So substitute everyone and then write the answer. Okay. So that means Q1 is 1.58 times Q2. Okay. 1.58 times Q2. So what is the percentage of reduction? So percentage of reduction in heat transfer?
58.
58. No, that is just a difference. Percentage of reduction. So which one is more? Which one is less here? Q1 is more than Q2, and we will go and check that first, confirm that. Okay. So Q1 is, yes, Q1 is more than Q2. right? That means better insulating material will reduce the heat transfer. When better insulating material B is next to the pipe, that is less than Q1. So that is true. So percentage reduction will be Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. Okay. So that will be 1 minus Q2 by Q1, or that is 1 by 1.58. Okay, because Q1 by Q2 is 1.58. So 1.58. This will be 36 point. How much?
7.
Okay, 36.7%. Or 0.367. Okay. So 36.7% will be reduced if you just replace the material, better insulating material, or put the better insulating material next to the pipe. Okay. Another thing is also you can see that the inside material, if you consider the amount of material required, okay, even if you are maintaining the same thickness, the volume of material is less for inner. Okay, you understand that? So the volume of this insulation is less compared to the volume of the next layer of the insulation, right? Because its cross section varies with the radius there. Okay, next question. The spherical wall. So what we have is a rocket combustion chamber. Is of spherical shape. It is made of super alloy of thermal conductivity of 30 watt per meter Kelvin. Its internal diameter is 1 meter. Okay, and the chamber thickness is 30 millimeter. So stop it at here and tell me what is the radius, outer radius first only. We have a combustion chamber of spherical shape.
$530.
Okay, outer radius. 1 minute. So what the question says is, we have a combustion chamber which has inner radius or inner diameter is 1 meter. So the inner radius, this will be 500 millimeter or 0.5 meter. 0.5 meter. What about the outer radius? Yeah. Thickness of 30 millimeters. So outer radius should be 0.53 meter. Okay. So that over. Now to avoid the melt away condition of this wall, that means this is a expensive alloy. Okay, you can say that is a super alloy, and it has to withstand the high pressure, combustion pressure, and the temperatures. So it is been coated with the 2 layers of insulation. To melt away condition, the wall has 2 layers of insulation. One is 25 millimeter, other is 45 millimeter thick, having thermal conductivities of 1.2 watt per meter Kelvin and 0.9 watt per meter Kelvin respectively. Where they are provided? Definitely provided inside the chamber. Okay, so insulation is inside. Till now you had the problems. The insulation is outside the wall, but this problem we have 2 layers of insulation which is inside. So this is the first layer. And what is the first layer thickness? 25 millimeter. So then what is this radius then? So but first layer thickness is 25 millimeter. So then what is the radius here? 0.5 minus thickness 25 millimeter. So that is 0.475 millimeter, meter, sorry, 0.475 meter. Okay, the next layer to the spherical wall is having 45 millimeter thickness. So you had to put one more layer, and that is having so for me it's very difficult to draw here, but I hope you can follow. This radius is now 0.5 minus, oh sorry, 45 millimeter less than this one, so it is 0.43 meter. So we got now 4 radius. I didn't name them R1, R2 till now, because if I did that, okay, would have confused. So the lowest radius here, I'll write now R1, which is 0.43 meter. Then next, the thickness, after the thickness of first layer, that is 0.475 meter. Then the wall of the combustion chamber. Okay, the inner wall of the combustion chamber R3, that is 1 meter, or sorry, 1 meter is the diameter, so 0.5 meter, and then R4, which is 0.53 meter. Okay, so this is the first step. You have to do it correctly. If the questions are like this, to find the radius correctly. If you make some mistake here, okay, without understanding the problem, so you have to understand the problem and see where the insulation is provided, whether it's outside or inside. Many times we overlook the radius with the diameter. Okay, so if the diameter is given and directly if you take that as a radius, entire problem is gone. So take care of that. Internal diameter is given, so you have to divide that by 2 to use the take the radius value. Okay. Now, if the internal temperature of the combustion chamber is given, so that first highest temperature here is okay. We'll take on the wall insulation. The temperature is 1950 degrees centigrade, and outside temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. Outside temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. Find the rate of heat loss from the intermediate and heat loss and the intermediate wall temperatures. So let's say this is now T1. Okay, then the intermediate temperature here is T2, and this will be T3, and T4 equal to 40. T4 equal to 40. Come on, it's a simple problem. If only thing is to write R1, R2, R3, and R4. Okay, thermal conductivities are given. 3 thermal conductivity values are given. What is K1, K2, K3? You write that first. K1, K2, K3. Yeah. Gaurav, can you tell me what is K1?
K1
Gaurav,
is,
Yatish? Yeah.
0.9.
0.9, good. Okay, 0.9 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. Yeah. Sanyam, what is K2?
Sir, K2
Second layer.
is 1.2.
1.2. And the last layer is the superalloy of thermal conductivity 30. Okay, 30 watt per meter Kelvin. So can you do this problem? This is a spherical wall. You have 3 resistances. RK1, RK2, and RK3. Temperature here is T1, that is 1950, and here temperature is T4. Okay, that is 40 degrees centigrade. Find out RK1, R2 minus R1 divided by 4, 5, K1, R1, R2. Substitute 0.475 minus 0.43 divided by 4, 5, K1 is 0.9 into R1, R2. 0.43 into 0.475. Yes. Okay, this process, I mean, you have to write clearly everything. So if you made some mistake somewhere in between also, you will be, not losing all the points. So don't simply write the values of RK1, RK2, RK3. You substitute, then calculate and write the answer. Okay. So RK2 and RK3. Okay. So tell me what is RK1?
0.0195.
195. Okay. 0.0195 or 19.5 into 10 power minus 3. Okay. Okay. Degree centigrade divided by watt. Then this is RK2. Should I wrote other way, other side? 19.5 into 10 power minus 3 degree centigrade divided by watt. Similarly, substitute RK. This is R3 minus R2 divided by 4, 5, K2, R2, R3. Okay. And this is R4 minus R3 divided by 4, 5, K3, R2, R3, R4. Substitute the values and then tell me the value of RK2, RK3.
Sir, RK2 is 6.98 into 10 to the power minus 3.
6.98 into 10 power minus 3.
And sir, RK3 is 0.3.
0.3.
Into 10 to the power minus
Into the 10 to the power minus 3.
10 power minus 3 is there. Okay. 10 power minus 3 degree centigrade by watts. Oh. Okay, 3 resistances are there means you can simply calculate now rate of heat transfer. T1 minus T4 divided by sum of the resistances RK1, RK2, RK3. Okay, substitute there is 1950 minus 40 degree outside divided by the total resistance 19.5 plus 6.98 plus 0.9 3 into 10 power minus 3. Right? So this will give you
71.37
37
kilowatts.
kilowatts. So temperature, sorry, now you know how to calculate the interface temperature because you know the rate of heat transfer. Interface temperature. So for the first wall, you can use Q equal to temperature difference T1 minus T2 divided by RK1. Okay, so you can calculate T2 equal to T1 minus Q into RK1. Same way. We did it before also, we have done that. And for the last second interface, okay, T3, we can use Q equal to T3 minus T4 divided by RK3. And from this, we can write T3 equal to T4 plus Q into RK3. So what is the temperature T2? Around 560 or right?
So consistency sake, we should be writing it in Kelvin, no?
Kelvin. Oh yeah, sure.
Sir,
This is
same
temperature
answer.
given is in Kelvin, right?
Yeah.
Degree centigrade. No. It's okay. Where is Kelvin?
Conductivity
value.
are in.
Conductivity. No, that is no problem. Okay, because
Yeah, it's
Kelvin
delta T.
and degree centigrade. Okay, we'll have same this one because we are using the differences. No problem. The temperatures are given in degree centigrade itself, so no problem. And what is the T3? 60?
61.4.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so now you are familiar to calculate the heat transfer through composite walls. Okay, so basically it is a electrical analogy which helps you to do that. The other thing is to write, remember the formula for the planar wall, cylindrical wall, and the spherical wall. How to write that conduction resistance formula. Okay, that's all. So if you know that, you can solve any problem. So now we will take up the second part where the combined convection and conduction is there. So those problems will be taken next. So I think I can explain this problem and you can continue doing it. In the next class, you can tell me the answer. Okay. So what do we have? Yeah, tell me. Any doubt? Okay. So outside surface temperature of a 35 millimeter outer diameter steel pipe is 205 degrees centigrade. So that we have a steel pipe whose outside surface temperature is given and outer diameter is also given. 35 millimeter is the outer diameter. So you know that we use radius, but the questions usually gives the diameter. So first only you do that. Okay, outer diameter here is 17.5 millimeter. It is surrounded by still air. Okay, the air temperature is 32 degrees centigrade and the heat transfer coefficient is 10 watt per meter square degree centigrade. It is proposed to reduce the heat loss by 1/4. That means only 25%, or it is, we have to prevent almost 75% of the heat loss by putting magnesia insulation of thermal conductivity of, okay, very small value, that is 0.07 watt per meter degree centigrade to the outside surface of the pipe. Now determine the thickness of insulation if the pipe surface temperature and heat transfer coefficient remains unchanged. Okay, so tell me what is we have to do. First case, we know outside surface temperature here, and we know the air temperature, we know the heat transfer coefficient. So we can calculate how much heat will be lost to the environment from this pipe. Okay, so heat loss or rate of heat loss from bare pipe without insulation. Okay, without insulation, there is a rate of heat loss from the pipe, because we know temperature difference here, or temperature of the surface and temperature of the fluid and heat transfer coefficient. We can use the Newton's law of cooling. What you can say, Q equal to H into area. Okay, so area of the pipe into T2 minus TA. T2 minus T. So you can calculate the what is the rate of heat transfer from the, okay, P. So that is the heat loss without insulation. Now the second case, when you add a magnesium insulation of thermal conductivity 0.07 watt per meter. Now we have two resistances. One is, what is that resistance? Inside the insulation we have conduction resistance, and then we have only, other resistance is the convection resistance. But in this case, the first case, without insulation, we have only one resistance, that is convection resistance. So first find out what is the Q value, then the allowed rate of heat transfer here. If it is, this one is Q1, sorry, not through the wall, but from the wall to the fluid, this is Q1. Something is wrong with the one note. Okay, so this is Q1. Then the rate of heat transfer after the insulation here, say Q2. So Q2 should be less than or equal to Q1 divided by 4. So you can put the limiting condition that Q2 equal to Q1 by 4. Q1 we can calculate very easily here. Okay, using Newton's law of cooling, we can calculate Q1, and the limiting condition for Q2, we can put Q2 equal to Q1 by 4. So we know Q2. So now we have to find out the resistance that gives us that value of Q2. Total resistance, conduction and convection. But you will end up with some function of the radius of thickness of insulation here. Okay, so we have fixed radius here. What is this radius? Yeah. What is this radius? Will tell me. Vishwajit? What is this radius? Vishwajit, are you there? No. Okay, Rajat, I think his mic is not working, right? Okay. Rajat? Rajat is also not there. Srinivasa,
Yes, sir.
what is the radius here? The first I have marked here, right? This radius we know already. What is that radius? R2 here marked, which is exactly same as 17.5
17.5.
millimeter. So the R3, that is what we have to determine. So R3 will control the magnitude of RK and RH. Okay. So in order to make the Q2 equal to Q1 by 4, we can find out what is total RK plus RH is required. Right? How can you do that? So we have the temperature difference same. So the resistance we have RH, we can, for the first case we know. So this resistance should be 4 times of this resistance. Okay. This total combined resistance RK plus RH should be 4 times of the resistance offered by convection resistance offered without any insulation. So that's the condition we can put, and we can solve that equation of resistances and obtain the value of R3. So come on, you do it. Okay, try it yourself and tell me the value of R3 in the next class. You will have a transcendental equation. You know that transcendental equation. So it is a the equation consists of logarithmic terms, because you have the resistance, conduction resistance coming as ln R3 by R2 there. So R2 is known, but R3 we don't know. We have to iterate. So you take the value of R3 somewhere close to R2, or if it is 17.5 is the R2 value is 17.5 millimeter. So you start with R3 value little more than that. Okay, maybe 20 millimeter or 18 millimeters. Then calculate iteratively, you can obtain the value of R3. So let's see how many of you can do this problem before the next class. Okay, any doubts in the problems we did? Anybody holding back? You can ask those doubts now. Yeah. So it's clear, right?
Oh.
Yashwant, yeah. Tell me. Any doubts you have? Okay, if no doubts, then I'll stop here today. We'll continue on Thursday.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you,
See
sir.
you on Thursday. Yes.